So when are you moving out of there, out of McKeesport? You know?
I'm getting I'm on the borderline of that, but trying to get out of North for sales in McKeesport probably at the end of the year, probably this year. I'm not sure exactly when, since I started this new job at the school. I got to save a couple paychecks, and I'm gonna try to get an apartment because it's just getting bad. I don't even try to.
Yeah. It's so you told me how bad it's getting.
Yeah, North for sales is bad, and North
I
sales
know
is not
all
very
along the
good.
Mon there, it's really terrible neighborhoods.
Yeah, I can't. It's getting too hard. I mean, I'm gonna be 31 next year. I'm getting too old for this shit. Excuse me. Well, yeah, excuse my language.
You're getting too old. Look at we're a couple
Well,
old guys here. You're talking to a couple old guys. You think you're old?
yeah,
You
but
know,
I
of
don't.
course you're 30, so I can't trust anymore. They had a thing in the 60s that said, yeah, I don't trust anybody over 30.
Yeah, I remember that the guy who got me involved in this told me that too in the 60s.
All right, we're gonna start now. This is chapter 2. The last verse I did was with my friend Brian. He can't come today because he's got some other engagement, but I think he's going to be a regular. So here we are. Let's see here. Text 28 and 9. Can you see it now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to read the Sanskrit, etc., and the synonyms and the translation, and you can read the first purport, and then you and I and Devananda will take turns reading a paragraph.
I'll leave you to do the reading. I can't see anything.
Oh, you can't see? Why?
It's too far. I don't have my reading glasses.
I got reading glasses.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can I have you participate in this?
Well, I'm good at hearing.
Well, it's good if you follow along.
You live close to Dr. Bob?
I don't know exactly where he lives.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
he's
know
on the other side of the bridge. McKeesport, if you're going, let's say from Versailles, if you're going southwest through McKeesport, and then you cross that bridge, and then he's on the right side of that bridge down below there a little bit. There's a little section there.
No, I don't live. No, he's about 10 minutes from where I live, maybe.
Okay.
But no, that's not where the part I originally grew up in. No.
Okay.
I lived I was in the inner city part.
Yeah. Hey. Oh.
Okay. Vasudev Bhagavat or Vasudev Paraveda, Vasudev Paramaka, Vasudev Para Yoga, Vasudev Para Kriya, Vasudev Param Gyanam, Vasudev Param Tapa, Vasudev Parodharmo, Vasudev Param Gati. Synonyms: Vasudev, personality of Godhead; Para, the ultimate goal; Veda, revealed scriptures; Vasudev, the personality of Godhead; Para, for worshiping; Maka, sacrifices; Vasudev, personality of Godhead; Para, the means of attaining; Yoga, mystic paraphernalia; Vasudev, personality of Godhead; Para, under his control; Kriya, fruit of activities; Vasudev, the personality of Godhead; Para, Param, the supreme; Jnanam, knowledge; Vasudev, personality of Godhead; Param, best; Tapa, austerity; Vasudev, personality of Godhead; Para, superior quality; Dharma, religion; Vasudev, the personality of Godhead; Para, ultimate; Gati, goal of life. Translation: in the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Purpose of performing sacrifices to please him. Yoga is for realizing him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know him. Religion, Dharma, is rendering loving service to him. He is the supreme goal of life. Go ahead.
The purport is that Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the only object of worship, is confirmed of the two slokas. In the Vedic literature, there is the same objective, establishing one relationship and ultimately reviving our lost loving service unto Him, that the sum and substance of the Vedas. In the Bhagavad Gita, the same theory is confirmed by the Lord in His own words. The ultimate purpose of the Vedas is to know Him only. All the revealed scriptures are prepared by the Lord through His incarnations in the body of Srila Vyasadeva, just to remind the fallen souls conditioned by material nature of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. No demigod can award freedom from material bondage. That is the verdict of all the Vedic literatures. Impersonalists who have no information of the personality of Godhead minimizes the omnipotency of the Supreme Lord and put Him on the equal footing with all other living beings. And for this act, such impersonalists get freedom from the material bondage, only to get with great difficulties they can surrender unto Him only after many, many births in the culture of transcendental knowledge.
You want to read one? Okay, hold on. Okay, he's going to read the next one.
One may argue that the Vedic activities are based on sacrificial ceremonies. That is true, but all such sacrifices are also meant for realizing the truth about Vasudeva. Another name for Vasudeva is yagya, sacrifice. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that all sacrifices and all activities are to be conducted for the satisfaction of yagya, or Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. This is the case also with yoga systems. Yoga means to get in touch with the Supreme Lord. The process, however, includes several bodily features such as asana, dhyana, pranayam, and meditation. And all of them are meant for concentrating upon the localized aspect of Vasudeva represented as Paramatma. Paramatma realization is but partial realization of Vasudeva. And if one is successful in that attempt, one realizes Vasudeva in full. But by ill luck, most yogis are stranded by the powers of mysticism achieved through bodily process. Ill-fated yogis are given a chance in the next birth by being placed in the families of good learned brahmanas or in the families of rich merchant in order to execute the unfinished task of Vasudeva realization. If such fortunate brahmanas and sons of rich men properly utilize the chance, they can easily realize Vasudeva by good association with saintly persons. Unfortunately, such preferred persons are captivated again by material wealth and honor, and thus they practically forget the aim of life.
Yagya vai Vishnu. Yagya means Vishnu. It doesn't mean Yagya vai Shiva or Yagya vai Kali or any other. But I was just thinking, he's talking about yogis here, ill-fated yogis. There are no yogis that are doing mystic power, trying to manifest their mystic power in this age. They've got like all different kinds of yoga in America, but like goat yoga, the goats like lick your face, and then they have like heavy metal yoga, where they blast, Metallica at top volume, and you're supposed to concentrate on the soul and the heart with that. I don't think so. So they have hot yoga. Some guy in the 70s thought of a method of making it unique. So he thought, well, maybe I'll just increase the temperature in the room to 105 degrees and then it'll sweat. And, people will probably think, well, if I sweat, lose weight, maybe I can get a date. So this isn't any kind of mystic yoga process at all. It's just nonsense that people just are falling for this thing because it's some kind of mystical thing, but they have no idea what they're doing. So this is not even what, the ill-fated yogis. There are no yogis. There's the only process of yoga available in this age is like it says, I explain this when I drive for Uber. I tell people, I help manage a yoga place, and then I invite them to the thing. And then I say, yoga It's just the sitting postures and breathing exercises are simply meant as a method to concentrate the mind on the soul and the heart. There's two birds in the tree of the heart. There's an eating bird. He's just enjoying the fruit of the tree. And then there's his friend. There's two birds sitting in the tree, but they're not K-A-S-S-I-N-G. They're just two friendly birds. And so the other bird is called the Paramatma, the localized aspect of Vishnu. And then, you know, if you realize that, you become enlightened. That's the goal of yoga, not to get a date or to have, you know, to listen to Metallica or have goats lick your body or step on you or something like that, or pee on you or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Who knows what they do? Okay, so I'm going to read the next paragraph, and you can read the next one after that, Alan.
All right.
So this is also so for the culture of knowledge. According to Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 items in culturing knowledge. By such culture of knowledge, one gradually becomes prideless, devoid of vanity, non-violent, forbearing, simple, devoted to the great spiritual master, and self-controlled. By culture of knowledge, one becomes unattached to hearth and home and becomes conscious of the miseries due to birth, death, old age, and disease. And all culture of knowledge culminates in devotional service to the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. See, that's one thing. Is like, I wanted to just comment that nobody realizes, Prabhupada was saying in the 1966, so just listen to his class, that materialists can't understand that birth, death, old age, and disease are the greatest miseries in human society. They just ignore it. They think, oh, I'm young. I'm, you know, I've got something. Why should I think about death and old age? But, you know, materialists don't think like that. Even my father, range of movement, he's completely an invalid. He sits on the couch all day. And then the only time he moves is to go to the bathroom. He has a commode right there. And he says, it's not that bad. Yeah, it is bad. It's horrible. And they don't want to recognize that. He just puts a smiling face like a lipstick on a pig, saying, yeah, it's not that bad. It's great. You know, I'm having fun here. He's 93 years old. He can't even move. Still, he's trying to enjoy.
Wow.
Therefore, Vasudeva is the ultimate aim in culturing all different branches of knowledge. Culture of knowledge leading one to the transcendental plane and meeting Vasudeva is real knowledge. Physical knowledge in its various branches is condemned in Bhagavad Gita as agyan. Gyan means knowledge. Means not. So that's agyan means the opposite of real knowledge. The ultimate aim of physical knowledge is to satisfy the senses. See, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about education. You know, they just get a job so they can get money so they can satisfy their senses. They make money from their job. You know, that's why you get an education, which means prolongation in the term of material existence, and thereby continuance of the threefold miseries. See, because the more you try to enjoy, Prahlad Maharaj says, the more you're just going to suffer. So if you want to be happy, just stop trying to enjoy.
Wow.
It's kind of paradoxical, but it's actually true. And he was only 5 years old. He's a pretty smart kid. So prolonging the miserable life of material existence is nescience. Nescience means ignorance. But the same physical knowledge leading the way to the way of spiritual understanding helps one to end the miserable life of physical existence, begin the life of spiritual existence on the plane of Vasudeva, the Vasudeva plane, when you're connected to Vasudeva, either in the Lord in the heart or in personally the personality of Godhead. That's the highest realization to when you realize you know, he has his, you know, he's in everyone's heart, a localized aspect. He's within and between every atom, but he also has his crib in the spiritual world where he's enjoying with his friends and family and lovers. So that's, you know, and his place is, you know, we can also go there and leave this miserable material existence, but the goal is not to do that. We just want to serve Krishna no matter where we are, you know, what, you know, even if we have to take birth after birth. So go ahead and read the next paragraph.
The same applies to all kinds of austerities. Tapasya means voluntarily acceptance of bodily pain to achieve some higher end of life. Ravana and I can't pronounce that.
Hiranyakashipu.
Hiranyakashipu underwent a severe type of bodily torture to achieve the end of the sense gratification. Sometimes modern politicians also undergo severe types of austerities to achieve some political end. This is not actually tapasya. Some should accept voluntarily bodily inconveniences for the sake of knowing Vasudeva, because that is the way of real austerities. Otherwise, all forms of austerities are classified as modes of passion and ignorance. Passion and ignorance cannot end the miseries of life. Only the mode of goodness can mitigate the threefold miseries of life. Vasudeva and Devaki, the so-called father and mother of Lord Krishna, underwent penances to get Vasudeva as their son. Lord Shri Krishna is the father of all living beings in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 4. Therefore, he is the original living being of all other living beings. He is the original eternal enjoyer amongst all other enjoyers. Therefore, no one can be his beginning father, as the ignorant may think. Lord Shri Krishna agreed to become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki upon being pleased with their severe austerities. Therefore, if any austerities have been done, they must have been done to achieve the end of knowledge of Vasudeva.
Oh, this is a long one. Go ahead.
Vasudeva is the original personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. As explained before, the original personality of Godhead expands himself by innumerable forms. Such expansions of forms is made possible by his various energies. His energies are also multifarious, and his internal energies are superior and external energy inferior in quality. They are explained in the Bhagavad Gita 7.4.6 as the para and the apara prakritis. So his expansions of various forms which take place via the internal energies are superior forms, whereas the expansions which take place via the external energies are inferior forms. The living entities are also his expansions. The living entities who are expanded by his internal potency are eternally liberated persons, whereas those who are expanded in terms of the material energies are eternally conditioned souls. Therefore, all culture of knowledge, austerities, sacrifice, and activities should be aimed at changing the quality of the influence that is acting upon us. For the present, we are all being controlled by the external energy of the Lord, and just to change the quality of the influence, we must endeavor to cultivate spiritual energy. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that those who are Mahatmas, or those whose minds have been so broadened as to be engaged in the service of Lord Krishna, are under the influence of the internal potency. And the effect is that such broad-minded living beings are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord without deviation. That should be the aim of life, and that is the verdict of all Vedic literatures. No one should bother himself with fruitive activities or dry speculation about transcendental knowledge. Everyone should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Nor should one worship different demigods who work as different hands of the Lord for creation, maintenance, or destruction of the material world. There are innumerable powerful demigods who look over the external management of the material world. They are all different assisting hands of Lord Vasudeva. Even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are included in the list of demigods. But Lord Vishnu, or Vasudeva, is always transcendentally situated. Even though he accepts the quality of goodness of the material world, he is still transcendental to all the material modes. The following example will clear that matter more explicitly. In the prison house, there are the prisoners and the managers of the prison house. Both the managers and the prisoners are bound by the laws of the king. But even though the king sometimes comes into prison, he is not bound by the laws of the prison house. The king is therefore always transcendental to the laws of the prison house, as the Lord is always transcendental to the laws of the material world.
Sa eva dam sahar sasar jagre Bhagavan Atma Maya sadasad rupaya chaso guna maya guno vabu. Sa, that, eva, certainly, idam, this, sasarja, created, agre, before, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Atma Maya, by his personal potency, Sat, the cause, Asat, the effect, Rupaya, by forms, Cha, and, Aso, the same Lord, Guna Maya, in the modes of material nature, Aguna, transcendental, Vibhu, the absolute, translation. In the beginning of the material creation, the absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, in his transcendental position, created the energies of cause and effect by his own internal energy.
The purport is the position of the Lord is always transcendental, because the causal and effectual energies required for the creation of the material world were always created by him. He is unaffected, therefore, by the qualities of the material modes. His existence, form, activities, and paraphernalia always exist before the material creation. He is all spiritual and has nothing to do with the qualities of the material world, which are qualitatively distinct from the spiritual qualities of the Lord.
Can you read the Sanskrit synonyms and translation?
Taya vilashitevshu guneshu gunavanniva anta pravishta bhati vijnanena vijrimbita. Synonym. Taya, by them, vilashiteshu, although in the function, eshu, these, guneshu, the modes of material nature, gunavan, affected by the modes, eva, as if, anta, within, pravishta, entered into, abhati, appears to be, vijnanena, by transcendental consciousness, vijrimbitaha, fully enlightened.
Read this translation.
After creating the material substance, the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it, although he is within the material modes of nature and appears to be one of the creative beings. He is always fully enlightened in his transcendental position.
What does it mean he expands himself? And I mean, what does he have to expand himself? He can be smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest at the same time, right? Why does he have to expand himself and enter into the creation? Is he,
Well, Vasudeva, when there are various,
after creating the material substance.
Yeah. My understanding is that there are different Vishnus.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's Karbanana Dakshai Vishnu,
Right.
Garbhadakshay Vishnu, Shiradakshay Vishnu. Shiradakshay Vishnu is the Vishnu that's like on the ocean of milk, resting on the Ananta Shesh.
He's also the super soul.
Yeah, it's the Shiradakshay. No,
Yeah.
Karuna Dakshay Vishnu or Shiradakshay Vishnu?
Shiradakshay Vishnu is a super soul.
Super soul,
also.
and then and Karuna Dakshay Vishnu. That's Karuna Dakshay Vishnu.
It's like the Garbhodakshay Vishnu is the one that lays on the ocean of Garbha, and from him the lotus flower manifests, with Brahma being the first created being. But then Brahma creates this universe. And just like our body is considered like a universe, and in this body, there is one individual soul conscious of this whole body. So similarly, and there's also super soul within our heart. So similarly, in the whole universe created by Brahma, Garbhodakshay Vishnu expands himself as Kshirodakshay Vishnu, who is the Vishnu, who is the super soul of the universe.
And what's the other Vishnu?
Karana, the first one. The first one is Karana.
Karanadakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay
No,
Vishnu.
Karanadakshay Vishnu is the one that lays on the causal ocean. And from him, from the pores of his body,
Oh, yeah.
all the various universes are created in subtle form. And then Garbhodakshay Vishnu enters in each of those universes. And then from him, Brahma is manifested. And also Brahma is like the soul of this universe. And then Kshirodakshay Vishnu is the super soul of this universe.
And then like when Garbhodakshay Vishnu exhales, all the universes come out of the pores in his body. And when he inhales, all the universes come back. And that's after a devastation. That's called a pralaya, right? The pralaya means like one entire universal destruction. And that's just one breath of Vishnu. And Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Yeah. So you know,
the little boy with the flute is not ordinary.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, you know, you trying to tell me this like Smurf guy is like blue, and then the whole universe pops out of his belly, and yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then some devotee was like thinking like that, you know, when he first became a devotee, and then he thought, well, yeah, but who am I? What do I know? You know,
Yeah.
You have to kind of like you think, you know, these things are like stranger than fiction, but you know, if it's that strange, it must be true. But you have to hear these things because nobody will believe it unless you actually hear from authority. Purport.
And the more we hear about it, with time, it takes on its own, it takes on a life of its own within our consciousness. We begin to realize more and more how these things are actually very, very logical. Very logical.
And it becomes proof in and of itself. Yeah. They're self-evident proofs. Just like George Harrison said, the proof of the pudding's in the tasting. Purport. The living entities are separated parts and parcels of the Lord, and the conditioned living entities who are unfit for the spiritual kingdom are strewn within the material world. That's us, by the way. My mentor, Dave Amritaswamy, he said, if you take a look in the mirror in the morning, you get up in the morning, you look in your mirror and see a material body, you know you made a mistake. So we're all strewn into the material world because we're unfit for the spiritual kingdom. We wanted to enjoy separately. So here we are in the prison house. As Paramatma and eternal friend of the living entities, the Lord, by one of his plenary expansion portions, accompanies the living entities to guide them in their material enjoyment and to become witness to all his activities. While the living, that's why it says in Vrindavan, they have that sign that says Krishna is watching. You know, you've seen those signs in Vrindavan. It says they've got like video monitor. I just put a video monitor in my Uber. You're allowed to do that now. So anybody that I pick up, they'll get notified on the app that, you know, you're being watched right now. So, you know, better not try anything, you know, because I know that there's some things that happen. It's actually a safety feature, you know.
Yeah.
Because Uber can be dangerous. I know some people have been murdered, you know, for no reason. Here in Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. While the living Uber drivers don't have any money either. They don't make that much money, and plus they don't carry money. So I don't know why
they don't make that much money.
Yeah, they don't. And I tell them, you know, my wife was a Panson family. She drives around like I do, but she's a home health nurse. And I don't tell her what to do with her money. You know, I don't make anything compared to her, but she works like a dog. She works like 10, 12 hours a day, and I can work whenever I want to. That's that's the nice thing about having a wife that works, you know. I just help her pay for the bills, you know. But in the Vedic literature, Shruti, it is said that there are two birds in one tree. One of them's eating the fruit of the tree while the other is witnessing the actions. The witness is the Lord, and the fruit eater is a living entity. The fruit eater, living entity, has forgotten his real identity, is overwhelmed in the fruitive activities of the material conditions. But the Lord, Paramatma, is always full of transcendental knowledge. That is the difference between the super soul and the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul, the living entity, is controlled by the laws of nature, whereas the Paramatma or the super soul, or the conditioned soul, living entity, is controlled by the laws of nature, whereas the Paramatma, the super soul, is controller of the material energy. So that's the definition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the supreme controller. And the goal of yoga is to focus on the Lord in the heart. All yogis, I actually wanted to get a tattoo when I first became a devotee. I'm just like a wuss, so I would never get a tattoo now, but I wanted to put like a super soul, four-handed Vishnu form in my heart, right on my chest. I think that'd be a cool tattoo, but no way am I going to do that.
I wouldn't recommend doing that.
No. Do you have any tattoos?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah.
I have enough problems on my body. I have enough problems on my body.
Yeah. These bodies are temporary anyway. I mean, but you can write, like you can write Vishnu or Krishna or Rama on your body, and then it's like your body becomes like a temple.
Yeah.
Yatahi avahito vanir durveshikas vayonishu naneva bhakti vishvatma bhuteshu chapatam tatapanam puman. Synonyms, yata, as much as he, exactly like avahita, surcharged with vani, fire, darushu, and wood, yeka, one, swa, unishu, the source of manifestation, naneva, like different entities, bhati, illuminates vishvatma, as the Lord is Paramatma, bhuteshu, in the living entities, cha, and tata, in the same way, puman, the absolute person. The Lord, as super soul, pervades all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, although he is the absolute one without a second. We're out of time. You have any quick question for?
Yeah, I have one. Do you have a good way of explaining what Balaram is? Because I've been wondering, like, we worship Krishna, but we don't really hear much. We don't worship Balaram, and he's the eldest brother, and he came first. Or is that basically is Balaram basically an expansion of Krishna and he's white?
Yeah, the second part of your statement there is what's correct. He's an expansion of Krishna and he's white. So in that respect, you could say, Krishna comes first. But then that is just to accommodate our sense of time. But actually, they're both eternal, just as we are eternal also. So, it doesn't, the whole logic of which came first, the egg or the hen, doesn't apply to transcendental matter.